everybody. Welcome to the very first edition of Monday Magic. My name is Rob Green, and each Monday, my aim is to help you with tips and tricks and inspiration to build your business, wow your clients, and create photo magic. And as we're getting started today, I just wanted to think back to the very first days of my own business when I first started Square 8 Studio and all that went into that. And I just remember, and maybe you can relate to this, being a photographer and starting out as a photographer can be hard, can be scary, can be intimidating. And I just thought, man, what would I go back and tell myself, like day one version of me with my business, if I could go back and just compile all the lessons learned? And honestly, a lot of it for me came down to valuing your work and valuing your pricing. So today, I want to give you 5 lessons that if I could go back in time 5 years ago and tell day one me these things, this is what I would tell myself. All right, number 1, your work is worth more than you think. I will never forget the first time I sat down with one of the elite photographers in our area and talked to her and just picked her brain about her pricing. At this point in my business, I had just charged somebody for the very first time, and it was like $150 for like a 2-hour session, and they got all the digital print rights, everything, gave them the whole kitchen sink. And I was feeling like I had robbed them. I couldn't believe I had charged so much for a session. And then I sat down with this other photographer and found out she was making 20 times what I was making on a single session. Like, my mind was blown by this. It was insane. And what I found, what I learned as I went through more and more of these conversations and learned more and more about the photography business is this girl that I met with that day was not some grand exception to the rule. She was actually just a really great example of a well-run business. See, there are photographers out there that are making 6 and 7 and 8 figures on their photography every year. And is their work better than yours as somebody that's just starting out? Maybe so. But is it millions of dollars better? No. Most likely not. And so it just begs the question, what's the difference then between their situation and your situation? And I really think a big part of that is that they have come to believe in the value of their work and have built a business around that belief. And here's the cool part. You can do the very same thing in your business. So, if you're sitting here and you're going, I'm still kind of learning the basics of photography and figuring out my way around the camera. Cool, good on you for continuing to work through the process and grind it out and figure things out. But as soon as you're ready to start charging for photos, understand you can charge a whole lot more than $150 a session. Number 2, you are not your work. See, I almost titled that first lesson, "You're worth more than you think." And for a lot of us, that's probably a good message to hear too, right? But I realized that in this context, there'd be a subtle lie woven into that just didn't need to have any place. And the lie is this, is that you and your work are one and the same. Your value as an individual and the work you produce as a photographer, not the same thing. So when somebody says no to you, when somebody says, that's too much for me, when somebody says, hey, I'm going to go somewhere else, or I found another photographer, whatever it may be, their rejection of you is not a statement about you as a photographer. They have found another direction to go. And it means for you that your next lucky client is just another step around the corner. Number 3, get comfortable talking about pricing. Your comfort level talking about your pricing will directly correlate with your confidence in sticking to your pricing. Say it loud, say it often, say it to people that aren't even interested in booking you. Just get in the rhythm of saying it, because the more you say your pricing out loud and get used to saying it, the more you're gonna be able to just say it with confidence. Say, hey, my name's Rob and I charge $1,200 for a session. You're going to get there. You will be able to say it out loud and with confidence to your potential clients the more you get comfortable saying it over and over and over again. In fact, the more you say it, the more you're going to be able to stand your ground when you come across those price hagglers that just want to talk you down on your pricing. And who knows, it may even be that the reason they're talking you down and trying to haggle you is because they're not convinced that you even believe in your pricing. So say that pricing often and get comfortable with telling people what the value of your work is. Number 4, if everyone is saying yes, you're not charging enough. When I first started shooting weddings and was charging like $1,200, everybody was saying yes. I was having months where I would book more than some photographers book in a year. But what I noticed over time was, as my schedule filled up, I had to start being the one saying no to some really awesome potential clients that were dying to work with me. In fact, I even had to turn down at one point an all expense paid destination wedding to one of my dream spots because I already had a wedding booked at a really, really, really low price on that date. So my encouragement to you is look at what people are saying to you in response to your pricing. If they're always saying yes and nobody's ever saying no, you're not charging enough. You're filling up dates too quickly, and it's okay if they say no. Like, your work is not for everyone. And so if everyone's saying yes, some people are doing it just because it's cheap. That's not probably where you want to be, right? And so for me, I was so busy getting excited about people saying yes to me that I even forgot to stop and ask, am I saying yes as a photographer to the right people, the people I really want to work with? Raising your prices can be scary. Let's just go ahead and say that out loud. Like, it can be scary. There's that question that runs through our mind of, what if people start saying no to me because I'm no longer in their price range and because I'm charging too much, I'm too expensive? That's fair, and that's going to happen. But the reality is, on the other side of that price jump are some people who are already saying no to you because you charge so little. I mean, think about it. If you saw an ad for a $25 brand new Ferrari, are you more likely to think, wow, what a deal? Or are you more likely to think, something's got to be wrong here? That just sounds super sketch. And finally, number 5, your price is not up for debate. It's so easy to get caught up in the game of, if you cave on it, they will come. But the reality is, compromising on your pricing rarely ends well. Just like that glorious Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit you got through the drive-thru this morning was not up for debate with the price, neither is your pricing as a photographer. The truth is, there are so many better ways to go about growing your business in a strategic manner than just compromising on your value of your work. For example, grassroots marketing, influencer teams, seasonal sales to your email list, mini session weekends, working under high-end photographers who often refer clients when they're already booked out, networking with other vendors through things like styled shoots. And even one of my favorite things is giveaways. Y'all, I have made up to $2,500 on a single giveaway. There are just too many alternative, value-building options for you to grow your business strategically than chasing people on their way out the door because they don't value your work. Let them leave, friend. Let them walk right out that door. Because you are on a mission to become a photographer who understands the value of your work and can communicate that to others in a way that they see it too. So these 5 lessons: your work is worth more than you think. You are not your work. Get comfortable talking about your pricing. If everyone's saying yes, you're not charging enough, and your price is not up for debate. These 5 things have been so valuable for me in my business, and I really believe they will be for you too. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Where do you agree, disagree? Which one is the thing that's hardest for you to tackle? Which one is the thing that you want to take ground in this week with your business? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you next Monday.